6 p.m., actually 6:12 p.m. This is the Committee on Environmental Justice and Sanitation. Uh, the first thing is introduction. So we're going to go to the agenda. We don't have a presentation today, but we're going to do some old stuff, and then Matthew's going to present some stuff regarding the work that South Bronx is doing and some policies that we would love to work on to support. And then the next thing is my summary of three major cleanups in the neighborhood. So that's what's going to happen tonight. It's going to be a short meeting, so yeah. And then finally, just like this is our first meeting, and I know the last year we want to implement more things in the EJ stuff. So do you have any ideas, something that we could work on in a committee, and then you could let us know, or you could email Steven or me, you know, to see what we could work on here. But anyway, so the first one is just introduction. Just say your name, and you're from the neighborhood, and then if you remember the committee, or you remember the board, or an organization.
Okay. Hi, I'm Argelio Ortiz, a member of the board. Okay, and belong to the committee.
I'm Elijah. Sorry, I had something in my throat. I'm Elijah Rodriguez, Vice Chair, PJ Sanitation,
Yeah.
and I also work with No State System. My name is Joseph Giller. My neighborhood's Melrose, and the organization I come from is Los Gamos also.
Mary Diller, Mr. Ramos. My name is Jenna. My neighborhood is Wakefield. I'm also from Mascarenas.
My name is Matthew. I work at South Bronx Unite and a member of the committee.
Okay, so no presentations, and the next one will be something old business. And the new business is yours, right? So the old business it has to do with something that the committee has been working on since last year is we have major problems with trash issues, so waste and other issues here in our neighborhood. And then one thing about our community board is like for so long we ask for resources, and then time it takes a long time for resources to come in, and then nothing happens. So, so the idea for the cleanup, the three major cleanups, is for also for the community to take responsibility, for cleaning up the neighborhoods, to be proud of the neighborhood. I say that because I was born in a third world country. I was born in Guatemala, so in there was no resources. In our community, we have to stand by ourselves, and we helped each other. And then if there was trash outside, is like it was also responsibility of the city to do, but they didn't do much about it because they said they didn't have any money. There was a lot of corruption in that country, so people did their part to clean the neighborhood. So, are you saying that because a lot of people say that you need to have money resources? No, you have to be part of the community, right? You have to engage with the community. You could just do like half an hour or so, or putting out the trash or whatever. It's an action, right? So that's what I learned from my country. It's like it doesn't take other people to come in to help you. We can help each other, and then also work on getting resources at the same time, right? That's where the idea of the cleanups came in. So the three major cleanups. The first cleanup that's being planned, Matthew knows about it. He's part of. I'll be emailing him, and also China. And Elijah at times. I'm not sure you got the emails.
I got them on my other email. I just have to update it.
Okay, so there's three major ones. So the first one is on Earth Day. Uh, so the idea is to have 4 sites in Community Board One. Uh, one of the sites is being controlled or is being supported by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, because she could only provide funds if we clean up if it is in her district. So that site has to be done in her district. So the plan is to do from 138 and Cypress all the way to 138 in Willis. He's done some sections in the 137 in Brook and St. Anne's, where NYCHA is, the public housing is. So that's one of the sites that will be taken care of by AOC staff. So AOC, they just want to know when to have the next meeting and what do you need, what we need from them. So that's one site, and the other one is still trying to figure out. But I'm trying to ask South Bronx tonight to pick a site in the Brooklyn area where close to where your office is, right? Around the area, where like close to like a waterfront.
Mhm.
And then the other side is from this is preliminary, so people have ideas and stuff, but it's fine. So the other one is from 138 in Willis, right? We're walking down to 149 in Willis, like heading to Third Avenue. So that's the other one. So you just walk there, and then in the major one where a lot of these things, the activities that happen is where the Roberto Clemente Square Plaza is. So having that territory will be controlled by the Third Avenue bid in Los Canamos. So Los Canamos could pick out areas there to help clean up, and then also the bid. So most likely the bid will take care of Roberto Clemente Square Plaza. I know Elijah, you mentioned one time about the parks, to see. I'm not sure how that will work with the parks. I think you got to get a permit to clean up that park and stuff like that. But you could do that place, and then that could be the fourth spot. So that could be the section that would go Roberto Clemente Square, and then go to the St. Mary's Park, clean up a little bit there. And then Roberto Clemente Square, because it's the Earth Day. Uh, I have a white screen, and I have a projector, and I also have a generator. So to actually show something regarding environmental justice on the screen for educational purposes. So then, if any organization wants to present or talk about what they're working on, they have the opportunity to be there, and also have some food for volunteers and for all the people in the community. And then, so that is still being worked on to see what could happen during that time at Roberto Clemente Square. But the major goal is to clean up the area. So that's happening at the same time. So Earth Day happens on a weekday. So the plan is to have it from 2 to 6, because usually that area is relatively clean from 11 to 3 p.m. That's when sanitation comes by and picks up a lot of trash. So it's not that bad during that time. After 5 o'clock in around when it gets too dark, is when a lot of this trash is being put out. People put a lot of when these businesses start closing down, and then when people start throwing things, and then they start throwing things on the corners on the corners of the streets. Because sometimes you don't know if it is a business or it's a person doing it. So they do that, and the other times they throw it where there's construction happening. So they throw it right there, so you don't know who's actually throwing it. So there's a lot of illegal dumping happening. So that happens around at night. That happens around 8 and 12 p.m. So that's why I know this happening. So that usually happens at night. So the idea is to have it from 2 to 6 for 4 hours, clean up for 2 hours, and then do what do you call it? Do a form, RSVP form, to try to have about 8 people per site. The RSVP form and trying to get the people from the committee for IT, right? But Leslie?
Yeah.
Try get Leslie to put a form, to do a form, and then to figure out how many people will be per site, and then work with her to create a map when the final sites are decided on, and then people could pick a site that they could want to volunteer in, right? And then do that, and they sign up, for volunteering. And the rest that has to be coming up is basically the materials. So Sanitation Foundation is supporting this, and we just have to tell them the supplies, what we need and stuff. And then also the Parks Department, not the Parks Department, the Department of Sanitation. You only could pick 3 sites. That's the reason why AOC is doing the 4th site, because AOC staff will clean up and get sanitation to do her site. For the Department of Sanitation will allow 3 sites for them to pick up the trash, pick up stuff. So that's what's happening now. So it's the final thing is really like putting this together, knowing the materials that you need, and then what type of programming could happen at Red Economic Square. So I would bring, like I said, bring the projector, have a projector, a screen, white screen, and then a canopy. Have a canopy, have a DJ, ask a friend to DJ, but I'm not sure he's gonna do it. But if they don't do it, I do it. So I could bring my own DJ equipment, and somebody could play music, and then while that's happening, and then other people could, if they want to say something, present something, and they could do that. Yeah, so that's what's happening now, and then that's the first one. But like I said, it's 3 major ones. So the other one will most likely in June, and the next one is like September.
When would you like us to have our cleanup event?
Like March, around there. February we have the meeting, like what I'm saying now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to finalize everything will be March, earlier March, because
So
since it's
finalize
happened.
everything.
Yeah.
Finalize everything by March.
No, we're gonna start.
Have the
Yeah,
event.
have it there. So because they have to submit paperwork a couple of weeks before the event. So that's what's happening now. And the other one is I'm not sure this is gonna happen. Is the T-shirts? And you don't know anything about the T-shirts?
I have not gotten any updates, Chair.
Okay, but can we get the design? Can we print the T-shirts ourselves, or we have to get? It has to be done through.
Well,
the community
depending
board?
on what the design looks like and how the logo is mentioned with Bronx Community Board 1. I mean, if you use your own,
No, the one that I sent, the one that we approved of.
yeah, as long as it's, I don't think there's any issues if you use your own funds for that. But I have to see if it's approved to order through our budget. If we have money in the budget to order that.
Okay, let me know. So I could ask somewhere, maybe the foundation, somebody, if they could print it out. So last year, a design was approved for Green Corps T-shirt. So Community Board 1 Green Corps, and so the background serves a green earth is a clean earth. So that's a slogan in the back, and then the front it says like Community Board 1 Green Corps. So the idea for the Green Corps is to do like this type of things: cleanups, go to environmental justice meetings, participate in community gardens. Whoever in the board wants to do that, they want to have the teacher to represent, so they could do that. So right now is trying to figure out if they have the budget. They don't have the budget, and then I have to figure out where to get the funding to print those out. Maybe somebody will donate it or whatever. So to those who be worn by committee members and board members. The reason for that is just because you don't have a lot of teachers. And the other one is for the 4 sites to have at least one member of the board to be in one site. So you have the teacher seats. Let's say you have your site, you will have it's up to you to wear the shirt, but you're also representing South Bronx United, so somebody else could wear the shirt. That's part of the board.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's to show that it is being sponsored by the board. That this is all being done by the board, and all of us are working together to do something about cleaning up our neighborhoods.
Mhm.
And then telling people that it's our responsibility as well to clean up, So you don't have to litter. You don't need the park. You don't need the city to come here and pick up your litter. You could throw that in the garbage. Right? Those things. We understand it's a lot of garbage cans are full and stuff like that. Something that we could do, but when it's not full and you're able to pick up the garbage, do it. So that's more the educational piece. That's what happening now, and then later on is like I said, I went to your meeting uh, because one thing is about environmental justice policy to work on that, and then to prepare for the new administration. Uh, so the newspaper, My Haven Herald, they wanted to have a discussion regarding those things because they're concerned that the new administration will start deregulating a lot of these environmental regulations, and that could affect our neighborhood.
They interviewed us.
They do that? You got
Um,
that?
Haven Herald. Wait, no, never mind. Another newspaper.
Is that in this?
I misspoke. My bad. Yeah, another
So-
interview. Another paper, Bronx paper, interviewed us recently about the Trump administration. Sorry to go off topic. My bad.
No, it's regarding this topic because
Yeah.
we also got to be aware of these things because we're dealing with environmental justice, and the new administration wants to cut a lot of these regulations that will affect our air quality, that will affect all the environmental concerns that we have here. So the community has to be aware of this as well. So because and then if we have more trucks idling and we have more people getting sick because of environmental issues, sometimes it's not us, sometimes because regulations have been reduced or whatever, like the NAC, National Ambient Air Quality, those things. Well, that one I think you don't have to worry about because that's done every 10 years. We're in the middle of it, but still. So that's later on. That's more discussion with our policy stuff. So, yep, that's my recap. Any questions?
Question number one, okay, recap, Earth Day is actually on which day? What,
April 22nd, I think.
April
It falls on a
22nd?
Tuesday.
It falls on a Tuesday? Okay.
Yeah.
And another thing that I want to bring up, is okay, I noticed that in the area of our district, there are no garbage receptacles that are being provided. It seems that sanitation has taken them away.
Yeah.
You know, the garbage bin receptacles for the public so it makes it very difficult for the people to, I wonder if that's one of the reasons why there's so much litter around, because why is it that in our district, there are so many, usually like in the corners next to the light poles, you should find a receptacle. But in our district, they seem to be lacking and they seem to have been taken away. And I'm not understanding why. So maybe I myself, since I'm a member of the board, I might call the sanitation department and start to investigate that issue. Another thing that I am advocating about, and gee, I've been doing this now for almost 2 years going on it, but I think we have to be persistent. I would like the law to be applied. Why isn't the law being enforced in our district with the dog food situation? Okay, I was born and raised right here in this neighborhood. I remember when I was a kid, they were so strict that not only would a person get a fine if they didn't pick up after their dog, they also had a right to take that animal away. They used to pound that dog. That's how strict they were. Okay? In housing, a person wasn't even allowed to step on that grass. That's how strict they used to be. I grew up right here in this district. And I want to be honest, I wish some of those rules and regulations could come on back. But particularly, there's a big problem going on. The other day, especially when it rains, I walked down for 149th here on Morris Avenue, right here. I literally speaking had to tiptoe. Because especially it was raining and everything, and all, to try not to get that on my shoes, okay? But I think that I noticed that in all the other areas, you would never go downtown to Central Park and those places and dare to do that with your dog because you would get a fine so fast. Well, why isn't that law being enforced in our district also? Okay, the NYCHA housing. People seem to think that it's okay to bring your dog to that grass. I've seen a lot of people coming from all over the area to bring their dogs to that grass. They seem to feel that that's an automatic dog walk. Okay, walk past Joyce Kilmer Park. Well, that's already going a little bit out of our district though, but it's still within the neighborhood. And it's like you said, if you go there past 5 o'clock p.m., because after 5 o'clock, people are walking their dogs, for the evening and everything. It literally speaking stinks. Okay? Because so my thing is, I will be calling the local officials, like I already have. They're gonna get tired of me. Well, they already are. They already are. But yes, I will be calling our borough press, and I will be um, calling not only our local officials, but I also want. The rumor I heard is that there's supposed to be an officer at the precinct dealing with environmental issues that is supposed to be circling the area. I'm gonna find out about that. I'm gonna find out why isn't there an officer then giving proper signs. I think the law should be enforced. Start hitting people in their pockets when they don't pick up after their dogs, and you watch and see how fast that situation is gonna start to fix up. Okay, so if they can do it, but that don't at least be that's the law. Okay, and I would like to see because it's terrible and it's getting worse and worse every day. Okay, everywhere you go, you got to find dog poop. Okay, I feel I'm going to be bold about this. If a person cannot be responsible for picking up after their dog, they shouldn't have that animal. I don't care who it is. Okay, somebody told me the other day, well, this is a working dog. Um, it's a working dog. Or it's supposed to be what they call that
Service animals?
a service animal. Something. Well, I understand that. And I have nothing against those who are handicapped. I think it's wonderful that we use animals, but if you can't be responsible and pick up after that animal, I don't feel you should have it. That's my opinion. Okay, and that's how I feel about that. Then find another method to get around. I'm sorry. Why should I have to deal with that? And it's environmentally unclean, it's unhygienic, it's unsanitary, and now everybody has to deal with that mess. That's not fair to anyone. Okay, so that is the controversial issue with that. People are telling me, so RG, are you going to take away service animals from the people now? Yes, I am. Yes, if they don't pick up after it and find a way to be responsible, yes. And that is the question that I have been asked about the Coalition for Disabilities. I got in touch with them also about this matter, and that is the controversy. Well, my answer is no, I have no sympathy for someone who's going to put their and leave the dog manure over there on the sidewalk and everything. So I will be continuing to advocate for that, and I will be continuing. We're going to have to be persistent in order because it seems as if it's an issue that keeps getting ignored.
Yes.
Okay, I have been bothering our local officials about that for a long time now and have not gotten any responses. Okay, so some of them might think that I'm nagging them too much. I'm going to have to keep nagging them. Okay, but I want that to be enforced. I want the dog poo to start getting cleaned up. Okay, and I don't understand why in some neighborhoods it's being enforced. Okay, and how come in our district it cannot get enforced? I don't. I'm not understanding that.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the main thing I want to reiterate about that. It's been an issue for a long time.
Yeah. Thank you for the RG. I mean, I live in public housing, so I know you're supposed to have a 25-pound limit. I think it is for a dog, and then housing doesn't enforce it.
Well,
So,
but it's not how
yeah, in public
I know
housing.
a public housing building, and there are a bunch of houses across the street.
Yes.
People literally, I have seen people come from those private houses with their dogs putting it in that public housing
Okay.
property because they feel because it's public housing, it's okay. I have seen that happen. Okay, I saw people coming from the co-op developments in Concourse Village, okay, coming all the way around into the Melrose region where those projects are at, the Melrose houses.
Yeah.
And feel that it's okay when they walk their dogs, that's the direction they walk in. Okay?
Yeah.
And so I know that public housing, okay, but I'm not just going to blame it on the tenants there.
No, it's
Because
not
I
me.
have observed,
Yeah.
that for some reason or the other, like I said, I wish that those good old fashioned rules and regulations could come back. When I was growing up around here, a person couldn't even step on that grass. That's how strict they were. Okay, I wish those regulations could come back. Okay, and people cleaned up real good. When you start hitting people in their pockets and start slapping fines and summons on them. And then word gets around, you know what? You don't pick up after your dog, you're going to get a chunky fine. You'd be surprised it works. Okay, try going over there to Central Park
Oh.
and put your dog out there and not pick up. You'll get a $250 fine so fast it won't even be funny. Okay, so why isn't there an environmental officer around in our neighborhood too? Okay, so I'm going to have to keep being persistent and I'm going to have to keep nagging our local officials to make sure that the environmental officer comes around and I want them to act the way they do when they're good for giving traffic tickets out. Go ahead and park your car in the wrong place. They'll slap a fine there so fast it won't even be funny. Okay? Well, why can't we have somebody patrolling for that situation? They do it for the cars. Why don't they do it for the pedestrian? As a pedestrian, it's not fair. You shouldn't have to be worried about stepping on dog poo. Okay, especially when it rains, when the weather gets. But I've said enough for today.
Okay.
I know people want to go home today, but everybody got the message, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, okay. Thank you
Okay.
for listening to me.
So
I agree
what I
with you, Archie. Even at work downtown, we get fined if we don't pressure wash our sidewalk.
Mhm.
Like I have to pressure wash the sidewalk every time I'm there. It's like the first thing I do. And if I don't do it, we get like a $200 fine.
I don't know if you guys have seen this, but on the New York City government, like Department of Sanitation website, there's a place specifically to report people leaving their dog poop on the sidewalk, but you have to document it over a certain period of time. I want to say for at least a week to prove that like it's in the same place and to try to kind of identify like which dog or what owner is leaving it. And allegedly, there's people from the city who investigate that and go and try to actually pass up those fines. But I think that either people are just not aware of it or it's just not being enforced like, as efficiently as it should. I can try to find it.
Okay, and that would help. Obviously, we can't really catch them because you would have to kind of.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to pull out my phone. I'm gonna start videoing, and I'm gonna have to be very proactive about. Of course, there are people who, especially like you said, after 5 o'clock, when businesses close and everything, they walk their dogs all around the place, and that's when it happens the most. And I speak to some of the maintenance workers of like some of the local offices and businesses, and they tell me that in the morning, I spoke to a maintenance worker from one of the local offices. The first thing he has to do is he has a special broom and a special, the receptacle just to, that's the first thing he does when he comes to work in the morning. The maintenance worker spoke with me, is scoop up all the dog food. Because it's just one step on top of the other, okay? And that's really something. And he told me, yeah, they come in the evenings when things are closed down. Because also during the day, they know there's going to be staff here and everything. They probably will get reported. But every little bit will help. And I'll probably be calling 311 also. Well, I've done all that already. I called 311. I went to the city center. I'm going to go back to the sanitation department, who they're the ones who informed me that there should be an environmental officer coming out of the precinct. I didn't know that.
Archie, just a quick question. So what can we do as a committee to like not only you calling, but like a plan of action or something that we could work together to kind of like promote this more?
I think maybe on whenever we have the monthly meetings, like throughout the course of the month, tracking these public areas where we're seeing this kind of concentration. And then, even at the meeting collectively, we could call 311 on the spot, and rack up the system, so that they see there's a spike in, complaints about these particular areas. And then I'm looking at what you were just referring to. It's called the Pooper Scooper Law. And so the sanitation department enforces it by investigating public areas with frequent complaints of people not picking up after their dogs. If people don't clean up after the dog, they get fined at $250. And so what they're saying is if you know a public area where people frequently fail to pick up after the dogs, you can request surveillance to catch the Pooper Scooper violators. So when we make those calls, we can request that surveillance. Not just call 311 and complain about these sites, but request surveillance.
That's a
at
great
those sites.
idea. That's a great one.
I agree. I think we should probably start a portfolio, actually.
Yeah.
Like document it. We can bring to the Department of Sanitation.
Mhm.
There's portfolio from multiple sources.
Request documentation. That's a great idea. Also, when we have our general meeting, I would like that when the precinct goes up to give their report, of course, they're talking about the safety
Mhm.
issues and the crime level.
Mhm.
I would like that to become part of our agenda. At the general meeting, I would like to bring that up as an issue. Is there why isn't there an environmental officer giving out summonses to the people who are pooping and not picking up? When we have our general meeting, I think that could be a direct course of action. Can we put that on our agenda as a direct question to the law enforcers?
To the NYPD and PSA.
Yes, yeah, because something interesting. I want to tell you what I have called up the borough president's office, Vanessa Gibson. I have called up Salamanca, our councilman. I called up the congressman about it. Okay, I called up the assemblywoman. All of them are so. It's strange that the response I get, all of them say, "Oh yes, that definitely is necessary." Oh yes, that's very necessary. All of them are 100% agreement. I have not had an okay. Most certainly so. That definitely is this. We most certainly are tired. Oh yes, all of them. It's like a unison. It's like a choir, but nothing is being done about it. See what I'm saying? But when I call, I have gotten a lot of very sympathetic verbal. Oh yes, most certainly. So we're gonna this or two. Oh yeah, we'll definitely have to clean up that. Oh yeah, no, I don't like dog poo either. No, I don't like to step on it either. So everybody has giving me it sounds like a choir. Literally speaking, it is a choir. That any place that I have called, well, yes, but not. So I feel that one of the main things that we should do in our next general meeting at the end of this month, which will say on the 30th,
Okay.
on that Thursday, can we officially add that to our agenda and approach the law enforcement section, the law enforcement unit? We usually have a public safety law enforcement officer at our meetings. And I would like to bring the environmental situation directly to them. Usually they're talking about crime. And said, but to me, hey, this is a crime. Okay, this is illegal. See what I'm saying? I know that their focus is usually on crime and safety and how many people are getting shot and everything. Yes, no, that's important. But I would like to bring that up. Who is the officer in charge of environmentally enforcing the law? Okay, I'm going to be calling that 40th precinct, which is the one for our district. And I'm going to be, I actually have already left several messages. They have not responded. I'm going to send the general community license officer a direct email. Okay, and see if that's going to, I believe in sooner or later, we got to get things down on paper. Okay, if not, they'll just keep ignoring the calls.
So one thing, what they're saying is like when you make a call, and I'm sure you're doing this already, but I just want to make sure everybody knows. State the location of the public area where you see the problem, the date and time that it occurred, and list in your contact info.
Okay, in order to list that, to be honest with you, I want to get a map of our whole district out there.
Mhm.
I could bring out some streets where I see it's more or less, but I'm gonna be honest, the whole district is dealing with that situation. All the
Yes.
way from the Mont Haven region, coming all the way into Melrose.
Mhm.
Our District 1 encompasses what, Mont Haven, starts from 138 in Mont Haven, right?
No.
Is
Bruckner?
Stephen, the district
It's
roughly,
it's Mont Haven, Port Morris, and Melrose. So
Yeah.
it
Okay.
goes all the way from Bruckner.
138th Street, Bruckner, all the way
Oh,
up to
130
161st and
132nd.
Melrose, right?
Like 132nd around there.
Yeah.
Four more is
It
there.
really starts
all
at
the way
132nd.
Mhm.
Yeah, all the way down.
It really
Yeah.
starts from 132nd and goes all the way up to
Like
Melrose and
149 and
161st.
That's Park Avenue. It cuts off at Park.
Our district stops already on 161st and Melrose, right? Is
And
that-
one
what is
and
the
one and one
confusion?
end, because remember that block, it's kind of like it's curved. So where the Third Avenue, it stops at 158th on Third Ave. That's when our district stops on
Okay.
Third Avenue. But on
Okay,
Melrose,
yeah,
it stops
Okay.
closer to 161. So it's kind of like that curvature.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's why I normally say if you go, let's say we use Third Avenue as an example, from Bruckner Boulevard and Third Ave all the way to 158, and then from Prospect all the way to Park Avenue.
Okay.
Those are our four borders, if you would
I'm
say.
gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring up the map, a written map of our streets of District 1. I'm gonna do that, even if it means I might have to get a large size of it manually, or we could even do it, and really bring out the more problematic areas with the
Yeah.
dog poo situation. But I'm noticing it's all over our district. If you walk from 138, go into Third Avenue, now start coming up towards Morris Avenue. Okay, you see where Lincoln House, start walking towards Morris Avenue. I promise you, you're gonna have to start tiptoeing sooner or later. Okay, go up to Melrose. Okay, again, especially next to where housing is, next to where, for some reason or the other, those seems to be problematic areas. Okay, again, you're gonna have to start tiptoeing. Start crossing the street into Third Avenue now. Start crossing the street on the side, right on the sidewalk, right before you even cross the street. More door for door. I belong to a community garden on Melrose, across the street from Los Quedanos. That's our garden, okay? I know that especially when the springtime comes, we take turns cleaning up around there to keep it clean. We sweep up around there every day. Every day the garden manager takes and by the time the evening comes around, it's all full of dog poo all over again. So, and I know that we're not the only gardens dealing with that issue.
Yeah.
People, yes, they throw garbage, they throw diapers out there. They do. We're trying to have something nice in the neighborhood, okay? And we're going to tackle that next. We put up signs. We even went as far as putting the station with the dog poo bags that a person could pull out a dog poo bag. Okay, because I don't know what is so hard about just put it in the receptacle. Okay, and it didn't work.
No.
So I'm saying that, but what I will do is we're gonna make that presentation at the general meeting. I think it'll be good to have the general map of our district, perhaps just showing the streets. It doesn't have to be a formal one. We can just have on the screen a general map, and maybe I'll do something like put a circle around the very main problematic areas: Melrose, Forest Avenue, Third Avenue, the hub, that 149th Street area. Well, okay, I'm not even gonna touch that 149th Street area because it is just full of all kind of problems over there, okay?
I feel like that could be a GIS project.
Yeah,
I know we have the GIS grids here.
Mhm.
We could make a pooper map.
Yes, okay.
I could.
Okay, that'd be good.
When you were saying that, remember that
Uh-huh.
map that I was talking to you about?
Yes.
That they
Last year, we did that survey
that
with that.
Yeah, we didn't go through, but through my organization, I could get a license. I have a license, and then we could actually sign it. And then it's like basically is a proof map. So it will be like three questions: where did it happen? A picture of the other thing happening, and a description.
Okay,
So and then he shows the points on the map. So then that could be put on, let's say, in 2 months to see all the points out there. So make an effort. So like all of us
Okay.
could take pictures of it.
You know what might be like an easy way to do it is like having a form. Like I think that's what
Yeah,
you're
that's
saying,
what-
right?
yeah.
When people put in the location, all of that, so they don't have to go into the map because not everybody's going to be able to, do that. Go into the map and like pinpoint. So just being able to have like just 2, 3 boxes, quick and easy, location, time, picture if you want, name if you want, and then it can automatically pinpoint the location in the map. And then over time, as everybody's doing that, then we see the concentrations, then we see the frequency,
okay, I want Caesar,
So-
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna work with you on an individual level, you and
Okay.
I, so that we can produce the product
Mhm.
of that and give a visual view.
Yeah.
I wanna produce you
An
and I, okay,
analysis,
we're gonna
yeah.
work on that individually,
Yeah.
as a little project, I'm gonna be in touch with you. We can
Okay.
text each other, and we have each other's contacts, so now that's a great idea.
It will
That's a
be.
great, yes, and we can show visually
Yes, I-
the areas that are especially very problematic, like we just finished talking about, that Roberto Clemente section, well, it's full of all kinds of problems. Okay, I've seen, there was one time even a day when, I remember some years, we were picking up syringes and needles from that area. Okay, so it's just one thing on top of the other there, but yes, a lot of dog poo all around there. Okay, and then, like I said, I don't know of any area, if you walk even towards like where South Bronx United is at, that Lincoln Avenue
Mhm.
section is always full of dog poop.
Always.
See, I'm trying to think what other areas that do not have dog poop.
Well,
No.
I
what,
really can't think of any of them.
that's what the map we showed. So
Okay,
it was especially, yeah. I forgot this as well, but this is part of mine. Something I do outside of the community board. But it relates to the community board is in February. He's gonna have an intern that's working on the waste map.
oh,
So
okay,
the intern will only do 2 months of collecting data. So we're gonna come together with a survey, and then asking businesses, asking other people regarding waste issues, and
Okay.
also and then recording the sites,
okay.
like the corners where people throw trash,
Mhm.
and then at the end of the internship, they will present to the community board and provide recommendations.
Great,
So the person most likely is
Great.
going to be from CUNY Institute of Technology. So but I still gotta how you say, interview them.
okay.
Or as the CUNY is doing this, they're paying
Oh,
the
okay.
students.
Oh,
So
yes.
but I will only have them for 2 months.
Mm.
But they will them and I, the person and I will provide the survey stuff.
Just one thing I wanted to mention is like, the other thing to think about is like, how do we ensure like the longevity and kind of like the success of this effort? I know some of us are going to be like super dedicated to it, but it's always good if there's like some incentives for people throughout the community to participate in this. And I know there's limited resources, but I'm thinking of for example, they had this program, maybe they still have it, where people could go and report vehicle idling. I don't know if anybody remembers that, where people could report and people would make money from that. And that was a city program, right? I think it was run by DEP or DOT. Anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but it was a program where you could do a little video record, show a vehicle that's just been sitting there, double parked, with its engine going, emitting all this pollution. I think for more than 10 minutes or something. And then people were like all motivated and fired up to just go around the community and record vehicle idling happening everywhere. And so, man, what if they had something for something like this that would incentivize people in the community to actually take the time to report these things,
Okay. Who will be DOT most likely?
That would be a good idea
Because
also.
is there
People make
is
it
a walkway way? Most likely it's a DOT program.
Mm.
Is the walkway. I mean, yeah, okay. So we have those things. So Matthew,
All right. Yeah, I have a few updates. I'm gonna start. No, Cesar wanted me to talk about the policy work we're doing. So South Bronx Unite, we had our first monthly meeting of the year last week. Cesar, thank you again for coming. And being the first meeting of the year, we talked about, okay, what do people want to prioritize for the actions that people want to collectively do this year. So we had that whole conversation. People listed all these different actions they want to participate in. A lot of people want to get involved with food justice. A lot of people want to reclaim public spaces, do tree plantings. I'm sure people in this room know about the Urban Forest Master Plan and how the city's planning to work with community groups to figure out where should we plant more trees in our community. So that's exciting. And then people want to get involved with policy related things. And recognizing we need more equitable policies, especially regarding to the work that this committee is focused on. So South Bronx Unite, we've always been advocating for policies with groups like Nos Quedamos, The Point, etc., going up to Albany, lobbying. For example, one policy we supported that passed was the cumulative impacts bill, which would have the government really assess and analyze the cumulative health impacts of future industrial facilities, being sited, being built in communities like ours, which has never been done before. So we're trying to do a policy platform basically, for 2025, where we state the bills that we support, bills that people in the community want our elected officials to pass. And so maybe what I could do is after the meeting or tomorrow, send the draft policy platform that we have right now and, see if y'all have any feedback on how it is right now, what could be maybe added. The policy platform includes bills related to environmental justice and clean air, bills related to housing issues, and et cetera. A couple of bills that we highlighted at the meeting last week were one is called the Enhanced Public Participation Bill. And that would make it easier for everyday people to be involved in decisions about air quality and pollution. It encourages the government to have more public meetings and community input on environmental issues when, again, industrial development takes place, development in industrial areas take place. And so it ensures basically more local community input in these things that, currently haven't existed, in a thorough manner that we would like to see. So that's one bill that we are going to be, really trying to advocate for. The other one is called Public Land for Public Good. We all know the city has has often given away land for housing that is, development that's not always affordable for communities, to build highways, to build, things that have added more pollution to our communities. So what if when the city disposed of its public land, they first prioritize community groups for that development over for-profit developers? Los Quedamos, groups like yours have created affordable housing in this district. And so what if groups like Los Quedamos had first priority when the city is giving up more land? So that's what we're trying to fight for. Communities like ours have legacy, right, of creating community gardens and all these community benefits and assets. And so we're just trying to scale that up. And that's very difficult to do in this city. And the city often gives away its land to private interests. So we're trying to finesse that, that system that is currently in place through this legislation. So those are the two bills of many bills that are in this platform. We're still in early stages of this policy platform design process, but we're hoping to get it going, get it finalized in the weeks to come because, as you know, the state legislative session is already underway. People, Albany is, started its session, and so we need to get it going soon to be able to get people together in the community to lobby and advocate and all that. So that's one update. I'll pause there to see if anybody has any questions or feedback.
Any questions?
Matthew, would you like me to get you in touch with more people at Nos Quedamos so we can get to work with you on this policy making that you're doing? Or
Yeah, sounds good. I personally know Basel and China, so yeah, I'm happy to share that with them if that makes sense.
I'm sure they'd be more than happy to work with you on it. So.
All right, sounds good.
May I ask a question now at the end? Give me an update, if you know, how is that grant proposal coming through?
Oh, for the
outcome
waterfront?
of that? Yes.
Yes,
I want.
great question. So maybe some people, I know Elijah, right? So I know you were there when I gave a presentation about the waterfront and that
Yes.
grant that we applied for. So we applied, we ended up applying, when was that? In late October, early November. And yeah, we're waiting to hear back from the government. We thought we would hear back by the end of 2024, but a lot of people
Not
applied,
yet.
so there's
Yeah.
a whole
I'm sure
backlog.
they did.
And that's a concern for us, kind of because of the Trump administration coming in. So it seems like the funding, though, is like it will be distributed. So we are ultimately optimistic, and we just feel confident. We submitted a real community vision.
I think you
proposal.
did, because I remember that presentation. That's why I'm asking for an update.
Yes.
Because I'm wondering if we could have, I was hoping that they could have hurried up.
I know.
As before, which ones were before
I know.
the end of January, but no, I think if that was already proposed, and if that was already, I don't see a problem with you, actually receiving it. I think they might take longer to now bring it to you, but I think it's going to be on its way. That's why I wanted an update.
Yes.
To kind of, but thank you.
Yeah, of
Thank
course.
you
of
so
course.
much for
Yes.
that update. Yeah.
So I had a you doing the you got recommended for Fordham University, right? For the I think it's like not a scholarship, a grant.
Yes. So that's another grant.
Okay.
So the EPA through Fordham University is administering another environmental justice grant, and
Oh yes, I got the survey.
yeah,
The email survey, and I put in Los Quedamos and
Los
South
Quedamos.
Bronx Unite because you have to vote
Yep.
in the
yep.
survey. Yeah, I did receive it.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
voted for y'all too. So
Yeah.
we're all collectively waiting for the decision, and actually Fordham is really trying to give everybody updates on whether they want the grant or not before Trump inauguration day.
Everybody's
So
trying to do
we
everything
should be
for
receiving
Trump.
updates on that,
Yeah.
like maybe probably this week, by the end of the week.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Great,
the 20th.
great,
He
wow.
gets inaugurated on the 20th, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
You got like 5 days.
So
Mhm.
remind me what was your grant again for that project? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
It wasn't a solar panel one.
The resiliency hub?
It was.
The resiliency hub?
Oh, okay.
I mean, I bought it for people, but I think yours were there to expand it and to have more construction of solar panels in other community gardens.
That's exactly
That's the
what it
one?
was.
Okay.
Mhm.
And yours was what?
It was like free summer youth programming
Okay.
in a community garden and tree plantings on Lincoln Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot one final thing. I'm not sure you could, maybe Elijah or somebody, for the community cleanup, some people were asking to do the clean up the tree pits and put flowers in there.
Mhm.
And then I was wondering, when you mentioned the Parks Department, does the Parks Department help with those things? Like with the tree pits?
Does it depend where the tree is?
I mean, the trees on the streets, so I think the policy department is in charge of the street, tree within the streets.
Yes, they are.
So we like, trying to figure out like who to talk to get, yeah, to fix it, to improve flowers and plants and things like that. Because a lot of those tree pits, they're full of trash. People use it for trash. So that's another thing that I was thinking of, and I wasn't sure how to approach it, like who to talk to. Maybe the parks department, but do you
The
have any
Bronx-
ideas?
The Bronx Parks Office.
The Bronx Parks office?
Yeah.
Okay, the one in, where Bronx River Lines used to be, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything else before I put my,
I'll go after you.
Can I just have a quick question about the waterfront? Could you just give me a quick summary about it?
Right, so we had the community in Mott Haven came together, formed like a community waterfront plan, several years ago. And so they recognized the waterfront is inaccessible, and they wanted to change that. This is in Mott Haven and Port Morris specifically. A whole peninsula with no access to the waterfront. So this is talking about the Harlem River to the Bronx Kill to the East River. All that space is very industrial, and it's all public land. But we always say it's not being used for public good. And you shouldn't have to go to other communities to be able to access the waterfront, be able to play sports, relax. And studies show that there's a lot of mental health benefits to being next to the water. You feel more relaxed. And so not only that, but we want green spaces along the waterfront because there's a lot of flooding in the area. And so trying to handle that as well. And put up more trees, because of the air pollution issue, the asthma issue that, I know very well. So, so creating a series of interconnected green spaces from the East River all the way to the Harlem River. Yeah, and we're not saying, we're trying to, do that in a way that's like weaved through the existing, how can I say it? Yeah, so we're trying to change up the industrial area, to provide for that.
Thank
you.
and also the stormwater. So, green infrastructure helps with
Yes,
porosity and then reducing stormwater problems.
right.
So we need more green infrastructure regardless. Because right now with climate issues, like we have more days that have been warmer.
Mhm.
That's how many days have we had rain here?
Mhm.
Like this is rare in the 90s. In the 90s, you never see rain in December. There's a lot of snow. Remember back in the 90s, we had like 2 foot of snow. Right now, we hardly any snow. So we're gonna deal with those things in the future, climate stuff. So that's. Wait, anybody else have any questions? Any comments? Any right here?
Bringing up something that Anthony Jordan mentioned last meeting, I remember he mentioned the possibility of painting like on the sidewalk to encourage litter being thrown out at the garbage cans. So like it would like paint the floors. I don't know if anybody would call that idea, but I wonder what the possibility of moving forward with that would be like.
Yes, that's one of the things I was thinking of during the Earth Day.
Mhm.
To see the bid or somebody, maybe the bid to ask the bid, it could be done in Roberto Clemente Square. I'm the one that gave Anthony the idea because so psychologically there was a study that says that when you put a garbage can and you put like small little steps, a little kid is trained to think and take the steps to take the litter out, to throw out the garbage, the education, and also the parents follow the kid. So like psychologically conditioned to see that as a step to throw out the garbage. And the other one is like you notice in some places like they do designs on the garbage cans. So things like that because when I show how to approach that, I don't know if the bid would do that. But
Or would it be possible to get like a group of you to do that? And whose authority would we need, or would
yeah,
the community board need to get that done?
yes, that's that. With the garbage can, I think it's the Department of Sanitation. They're the ones that put the garbage cans out there. But then talk to them about it. But that would be a awesome idea to do an Earth Day to have those things because we have there's something called environmental psychology and psychological architecture. So there's those fields like that. So it's like people are psychologically not conditioned, but they react in a certain way. You do certain things. Like that's why trees and planters and things like that. It helps with your mental health and the waterfront issues, like you're saying. That's environmental psychology studies that stuff. So that yeah. So hopefully I got to put that on my notes to remember that. Hopefully I will ask the bid and maybe they willing to get paint unless you're able to get the paint.
Everybody on
The materials and
team
stuff.
with this-
Huh?
with the artistic skills.
No, like you don't have to be artistic. I have a community garden, so in Millbrook Gardens, and then there was like it's like a local youth group in the center, and then and I just tell them just paint anything on the raised bed, because it doesn't have to be Michelangelo. It just like if they make an effort and they paint something, and like a lot of the parents who connect to the painting that's done by the kids. You see that? Even if it's not all pretty and stuff like that, but it's done by a person. So I think that helps. That's what I learned at the garden. The kids love painting. The little kids they put their hands there and they draw things or whatever, flowers and things like that. But it's like I think that will help out. Like that's I will put it down as a notes. Probably ask the bid maybe to if they have any materials and ask the Department of Sanitation if we could do that to the garbage cans. Okay. Last question, last comment.
Yeah, just a
Okay.
couple quick updates. I know we're trying to leave soon. Is everybody familiar with congestion pricing? With it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna have a press conference tomorrow, actually, right by Lincoln and Bruckner, South Bronx Unite. This was kind of organized very last minute, so I apologize for the short notice, but it's gonna be from 11:30 to 12:30. It's on our social media. And it's gonna be by Lincoln and Bruckner, I said that already. And we're gonna talk about how congestion pricing is harming the South Bronx, actually. The MTA released some kind of report that acknowledged that congestion pricing would increase traffic in the South Bronx. And so we know what that means, more pollution. And so we're gonna speak out about that while
Okay, that's from 11:30 to 12:30,
to 12:30.
and that's gonna be tomorrow at South Bronx Unite.
Yes, right in front of the office, right by Lincoln and Bruckner.
Mhm.
And there'll be several news stations there. Yeah, so we're trying to spread awareness right now. And I know it's short notice, but if anybody can make it,
I
we'd
have some
appreciate it.
friends that might wanna go.
Okay.
And I'll let them know about it tonight.
I'll text you the flyer that we have right now
Okay.
too.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll take it over to them
Maybe
and,
you can take a picture, send it to me.
yeah, I get a chance.
Yeah,
I
so
might
this is
go
on
and
your
see
like
them.
social media page?
Yeah, it's on South Bronx United page. So yeah, and then the last thing I wanted to mention is like we're planning ahead for the year, and we know that there's going to be the city council election for this district and the mayor election. And so right now we're having early conversations at South Bronx United about having an elected candidates forum for the city council race for City Council District 8, Ayala's district, and maybe for the mayor's race, like a South Bronx mayor elected candidates forum. So we'll definitely be in touch with groups like Nos
Okay.
Quedamos.
And I know that Los Quedamos has
People
in
in
the
the-
past, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No, go
interrupt
ahead,
you,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. But I know the Los Quedamos has kind of almost traditionally now, held those candidate forums,
Yeah,
that I think are very informative.
yes.
So,
And
let people know who are the actual candidates.
it's a good opportunity to ask questions, but not only that, even more better is to make demands that you can hold these electeds accountable to. So definitely, let's talk more and, plan something good for the spring, hopefully.
Awesome.
That's it.
Okay,
Thank you, Matthew.
so more motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
I motion.
Motion.
Elijah motions.
Need
You
a second.
the motion.
Second, yes.
Any
Yeah.
discussion?
Discussion.
All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah.